Good afternoon, everyone at the county jail. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Judge Bell, and you're here for your first appearance. The purpose of first appearance is so that you're informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person that committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this afternoon, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations, and that presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings, unless and until the state attorney's office is able to prove those allegations beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We will set the conditions of pretrial release this afternoon, which is your bail or bond. In most cases, you have a bond set pursuant already to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit under the warrant that led to your arrest. We will determine if that bond should be raised, lowered, or remain the same, and whether or not there will be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. If you'd like the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the public defender to represent you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. You have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, to include family, friends, and counsel. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you have an absolute right to remain silent, and I encourage you to do that. Additionally, there's a state attorney in the courtroom with me, and if you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. Now, may I please have each and every one of you raise your right hand to be sworn. Thank you. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. When you hear your name, please step forward to the podium. Danielle Crima? Good afternoon, ma'am. May I please have your date of birth? I have a charge for you this afternoon of knowingly driving while license canceled, suspended, or revoked. There's probable cause for that charge. Are you going to represent yourself, hire a private attorney, or like the services of the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender to represent you.
And I'm showing that she just resolved the misdemeanor battery last month. I'm not sure if she's currently on probation or not.
She is on probation.
That's all I'm showing, Judge.
Thank
I
you.
don't have her driver's license in front of me.
And ma'am, I have an address for you on Godfrey Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that a good address?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long have you lived there?
7 years?
And do you have family in the area?
Yes.
And are you currently working?
No.
I'm going to set your bond at $500. And your next court date is going to be December 7th at 9 a.m. in courtroom B.
Thank you.
It sounds like there might be a violation of probation coming for you very shortly. Good luck. Slides a little back. Mr. Donald Pruitt.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, yes, sir. May I please have your date of birth?
3760.
Yes, sir. I have 2 charges for you this afternoon, a grand theft auto as well as the possession of methamphetamine. There's probable cause for those charges. You're going to represent yourself, hire a private attorney, like the services of the public defender.
Public defender.
Yes, sir. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you.
Showing that he's got a bunch of arrests from out of state. But as far as convictions go, I'm showing 2002 tampering with physical evidence, felony drugs and resisting without, 2003 an FTA, no valid driver's license, and a VOP. 2022 failure to register a motor vehicle and a Dwillis, 1977 felony assault, 2011 no valid driver's license.
And Mr. Pruitt, I have an address for you on Flamingo Boulevard. Is that a good address for you?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you currently live in Hernando County?
I live up in Weeki Wachee area.
Okay. And how long have you lived there?
About a year.
And did you
I
live
don't
in,
even know the address.
and have you lived in Hernando County previously?
Do what now?
Have you lived in our county previously?
Before I did,
Yeah. And how long have you lived here?
close to a year.
Do you have family in the area?
No,
And are you currently working?
every now and again. Little side jobs is all I get to do. Like mowing grass or fixing lawnmowers, working on cars.
Yes, sir. I'm going to set your bond as to count one at $5,000. I'm going to set your bond as to count two at $5,000.
Whatever, I ain't gonna be able to get out.
Your next court date is going to be December 1st at 1:30 in the afternoon in courtroom E. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Mr. Sandelin?
11/10/64.
Thank you so much. I have a charge for several matters for you this afternoon. I have an aggravated stalking for which I did find probable cause. You're going to represent yourself, hire a private attorney, like the services of the public defender.
The public defender.
Yes, sir. I also have two other cases for you, each with one count of violation of an injunction. Would you like the public defender appointed in those matters as well?
Sure. What can I ask you what an injunction is?
Sir, an injunction is a legal order telling you not to do something. So, for instance, I'm not sure exactly what your injunction is for here, but it could be just to stay away from somebody and not commit domestic violence or something like that.
Oh, I don't know domestic violence.
It was an injunction for protection from stalking.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. So I'll appoint the public defender in all of your cases.
Okay.
He may or may not have open charges, Judge, but as far as his record goes, 1993, a couple of counts of robbery out of Ohio, which he went to prison on. 1983, burglary out of California. 1990, false name to law enforcement and robbery. 2003, felony domestic violence. 2014, Dwellis. 2012, an FTA on a Dwellis. And he's got other stuff that I can't confirm this afternoon.
Thank you. And Mr. Sandlin, I have an address in Old Town for you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Is that a good address for you?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And how long have you lived there?
2 years, a couple years.
Are you currently working?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do for work?
I lay flooring. You know, tile, linoleum, VCT.
I'm going to set your bond in the aggravated stalking at $2,000. A condition of that bond is that you're to have no contact
Yes, ma'am.
with Crystal. Miss Crawford. No
Yes, ma'am.
contact, Mr. Sandlin, means no contact of any kind. You can't call,
Yes, ma'am.
you can't write, you can't email, you can't text message. You cannot contact her through social media. You can't go where she lives or where she works. You can't have third-party contact. Any way that you might imagine having contact, I forbid you to do so.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Did you hear that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you have contact with her and the court finds out about it, your bond could be revoked and you could be held without bond until the
Yes,
charge
ma'am.
is resolved. It means no contact even if she wants the contact. So if you answer the phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and you see her, you should walk the other way. And
yes,
please
ma'am.
understand that she does not have the ability to drop charges, as that function rests solely with the Office of the State Attorney.
Okay, I understand that.
And if there's, your court date on that case is going to be December 1st at 1:30 p.m. in courtroom E. As for the
Yes, ma'am.
misdemeanor violations of injunction, I'm going to set your bond at $1,000 apiece.
Okay, so my total would be 4,000?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
And
ma'am.
your court date on those cases is December 7th at 9 a.m. in courtroom B.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
And there's already an injunction in place, so you understand.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, I did what I
Thank
didn't
you,
understand
thank
it.
you, thank you so much.
Okay.
Mr. Seda? Hi, yes, sir, may I please have your date of birth?
5/31/1988.
Thank you so much. I have a failure to appear for you today out of Indian River County. There is a no bond associated with that. I'm going to keep the no bond, and we're going to give them 5 days to come and get you.
I believe he's got a pending Hernando County case that might stall that.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, looks that way.
Okay. Well, you'll be held here on your local charges if you haven't posted bond. Otherwise, then there'll be this hold out of Indian River County on this failure to appear.
Your Honor,
Yes?
his Hernando case was resolved yesterday.
Oh.
Okay, thank you so much. So we'll give Indian River County 5 days to come and get him. Okay?
Is that all I have?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Womble? Hi, yes, sir. May I please have your date of birth?
8/25/96.
Yes, sir. I have 2 charges for you this afternoon. A violation of pretrial release and misuse of 911. There's probable cause for those charges. You're going to represent yourself, hire an attorney, and would like the services of the public defender.
Service to the public defender.
Yes, sir. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you.
2011 trespass, 2017 resisting without, which he violated his probation, with a felony Dwillis, which also was violated. 2019 failure to appear on a Dwillis, which was knocked down to a no valid, as well as false name to Leo and felony Dwillis, and 21 Dwillis. Showing pending felony case, and I'm uncertain as to whether this case predates that one.
And Mr. Womble, I have an address for you in Tampa on North 20th Street.
Yes,
Is that a good address for you?
yes.
And how long have you lived there?
Since July, so I moved back there.
Do you have family in the area?
Not here in Tampa.
Okay, and whom does that family include?
Mother and grandmother.
And are you currently working?
No.
I'm going to set your bond as to the violation at $1,000 and as to the misuse at $1,000. Condition of that bond is that you're to have no contact. with the alleged victim? Did you understand no contact?
Yes.
Okay. And if you are sharing an address with that person, then as far as the home, which hopefully you're not, you can go by one time to get your clothes, but to do that, you must contact the sheriff's office, and they'll arrange a time to meet you there with the deputy so you can pick up your belongings. And your next court date on this case is going to be December 7th at 9 a.m. in courtroom B. Thank you. We also have Thomas Pruitt. It's my understanding that Mr. Pruitt is currently in the hospital.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so for today's purposes, we will waive his appearance. I'm going to set his bond at $5,000. Appoint the public defender to represent him. And his next court date will be December 1st at 1:30 p.m. in courtroom E.
Your Honor, he's got 2 charges. Oh, never mind. Sorry. Co-defendant has 2 charges.
Yes. And I believe we're going to go on the Zoom.
Your Honor, I believe we're still waiting for a Zoom link. And then we also have Mr. Russell, first name John, for a change of plea.
Yes, sir. And Mr. John Russell? Thank you so much, Mr. Russell. And if I may ask, the charge is it battery?
It's a battery charge,
Yes, ma'am.
And what is the resolution for today?
So, he resolved this felony yesterday with felony probation. We were kind of assuming that would be what the state wanted to do as well on this. However, they sent back an offer of 45 days, then probation. He does have 27 days in, so we'd ask if we could just time serve him and do probation. He'd be on double supervision. And he's really worried about his mom, Your Honor. You can read in the PC for our case that the whole altercation started because he was worried about drugs that were being given to his mom. So I'd like to get out to be able to check on her, Your Honor.
And Mr. Lehman?
Your Honor, I'm showing that the offer that the state made was 45 days from the Under County Jail, and that was followed by probation. And that was per victim's wishes. We'll be making that offer today.
And so you don't have an agreed to disposition today?
We do not, Judge. Apparently we're a few days off.
Would you want to spend another few days in jail? It'd be roughly 13, and then do probation.
What is it now?
The state's offer is 45 days, which with gain time would be about 40. You have 27 days in, you'd have about 13 days left in jail.
Okay.
And then to do probation on top of that afterwards. You willing to accept that now to enter a plea and resolve the misdemeanor?
There's no way I can get out today.
It's not looking like it.
So I'd be on misdemeanor and felony probation?
Yes, sir.
So how many more days would I have to spend in?
I believe it would work out to about 13.
13 more days?
Yes.
And then I'll be released?
Then you'd be released, and then you'd have to report to both felony probation and misdemeanor probation once you're released.
So far as you've had no DRs or anything in which the jail would
No.
hold you the full 45?
I've been good. Well, I guess I'll have to do 13 more days then.
Okay. Sounds like we haven't agreed to a resolution, Your Honor.
And is that how you'd like to resolve your matter today? Or would you like a chance to speak with your attorney and come to court on November 14th, which is your next court date?
Yeah, I'd like to do that. I'd like to speak with my attorney, come for 14.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Your Honor, have we dealt with Yura Herrera?
I'm getting,
We're waiting on
an
it.
interpreter.
Oh.
Gather his belongings. Okay, so yeah.
Thank you. Your name, sir?
Wagner.
All right, 21 CF 4323AO, you're here on a violation of probation. Were you interested in the services of the public defender? Did you want to represent yourself or hire a private attorney?
I was told I was getting a public defender, Your Honor.
All right, well, you didn't fill out a form for a public defender, so you want one?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have a job?
Yes, Your Honor.
How much money do you make?
I make 12 an hour.
How many hours a week do you work?
Just a little under 40.
All right. So you make about $440 a week? Any children, any dependents?
No, Your Honor.
40 a week?
How much?
440? All right, I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. On this VOP, your bond, according to this warrant, is set at no bond, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
That's it. Right there.
Your name?
That is Anthony.
All right, sir, you're out on bond on the grand theft of motor vehicle, 22 CF 13672 AO. You're here today in 22 CF 14407 AO, aggravated assault with a firearm, possession of firearm by a convicted felon, and possession of ammunition by a convicted felon. Reviewed that affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any input from the state?
Your Honor.
Any input from the defense?
No, Your Honor, I would just ask for
I'm sorry?
just a reasonable bond and a one-time return with law enforcement.
All right, I'll set your bond at 7,500 on count one. I'll reduce count two to 150, count three to 150. No contact with the alleged victim, no return to the scene, maintain separate residence. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. And what's the status of the case that he's out on bond? Just happened.
He was arrested November 24th, and no formal charges have been filed, Your Honor.
I'll take no action on that case. Your name?
Richard Dunn.
All right, 22 CF 14397 AO, aggravated battery on a pregnant person, domestic, and false imprisonment, domestic. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any input from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any input from the defense?
Just a one-time return, Your Honor.
All right, I'll set your bond at 2,500 on count one, 150 on count, I'm sorry, 100 on count two. No contact with the alleged victim, no return to the scene, maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. You can return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. Your name, ma'am? 2022 CF 13236 AO, one count of aggravated battery with a firearm, domestic by arrest warrant. According to this, your bond is set at no bond with conditions, no contact with the victim. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Any input from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Anything from the defense?
Just that one-time return, Your Honor.
All right, I'll set your bond at $5,000, no contact, no return, maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. You can return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve your belongings.
Yes, sir. May I ask, what's the 10%?
What was your question? It's 500. 5,000. Just take a 0 off. Your name? All right, 22 CF 14384 AO, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, domestic. Reviewed that affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any input from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
Just the one-time return.
All right, I'll set your bond at $2,500. No contact with the alleged victim, no return to the scene, maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. You can return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve your belongings, okay?
Just a question. So you said I can return to my own home, or I gotta stay with CF?
Your lawyer can answer that question for you, but as of now, that's correct.
Robert Boyd is downtown court.
Downtown court, out on bond. You want to roll this to tomorrow or waive them?
I will waive your.
All right. Out on bond in 22 CF 13784. Out on bond in 22 MM 683. Here today, 22 MM 8315 AO. Contempt of court, violation of an injunction or protection order. Reviewed that affidavit, found probable cause. Point the public defender. Any input from the state?
Your Honor, the two out-on bonds are for the same victim, and though formal charges haven't been filed yet, it does show that this particular defendant is not going to abide by any court rules. I would ask that you revoke the out-on bonds, Your Honor.
All right. Any input from the defense?
I would ask that you take no action, being that the state has not moved forward on formal charges.
All right, on the new case, I'll set the bond at $1,000, no contact, no return, maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons, and I'll revoke his release in the two out-on-bond cases. Let the judge assign to those cases determine what a reasonable bond is. Your name, sir?
Willie Cameron.
All right, 22 MM 8331 AO, battery domestic, reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any input from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any input for the defense?
He does qualify for pretrial release. I would ask for pretrial release, Your Honor.
All right. You want to pay a $500 bond or be released through pretrial release?
Pretrial release.
All right, I'll give you a pretrial release with conditions: no contact, no return, maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons.
Speak to them.
Shouldn't ask. Yeah. Is this the Cody?
Is it
No.
okay for them to be brought up together? He said yes.
Your name, ma'am?
Tanner Daniels.
22 MM 8339 AO, one kind of battery dating violence. Reviewed that affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender.
Is it the next one or the one after?
Two.
That, I think it's next.
Your name, sir? All right, 22 MM 8338 AO, one kind of battery dating violence. Reviewed that affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. All right, so you're both listed as defendants and co-defendants and victims and co-victims. Ms. Daniels, you're the first defendant I have, so Mr. Jackson, is there anything that you want to tell me, anything you think the court should consider in determining conditions of a release? Understand that you're also a defendant, so anything you say can and will be used against you. Is there anything you want to tell me? You guys live together?
I'm okay, yes. She's my girlfriend, yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes, yeah.
Are you guys gonna keep living together?
Yes,
You wanna have contact with her?
yes,
Are you in fear for your safety?
no.
State, do you have any questions for him?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, do you have any questions for him?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, is there anything that you wanna tell me with the same warnings?
No. I don't want contact.
Okay,
I'm in fear for my life.
okay.
He's been too far.
Whose house is it?
Hold on.
It's a hotel.
Is it, do you own it or rent it?
He was renting it. I was just with him.
Do you wanna,
At our place
do you have another place to stay or you gonna wanna go back?
I was trying to gonna get some services like from the Harbor House or something, you know? I can't be around them. I need to change.
What do you want her to do about housing?
Your Honor, they list two different addresses on the arrest affidavits.
Sounds like it's his place and she's staying there. I just wanna make sure she's got another place.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor, and then I also, we're gonna check into the Harbor House, and we also have services that can help her get into a place temporarily.
Do you have any questions for her?
No, Your Honor.
Defense to you?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, I'm gonna set your bond at $500.
Qualifies for pretrial release, Your Honor?
Oh, you're right, she does, yeah, I was thinking it was him. I'll give her PTR, maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. No return, but you can go back and get whatever stuff that you need, okay? Sir, I'll set your bond at $500, no contact, with the alleged victim. I'm gonna give you 48 hours before you can return back to the house, okay? So you can't go back there, that'll give her enough time to get her stuff out.
It's a hotel room.
I'm sorry?
It's a hotel room.
Oh, it's a hotel room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your Honor, with regard to Ms. Daniels, I apologize. Was that no contact or no hostile contact?
No contact. It's both no contact.
Thank you.
And what was the bond for Mr. Jackson?
500.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, from release. No guns, knives, or weapons for both. All right, ma'am, your name?
Danalisa Espinosa.
All right, 22MM 8333 AO, uncounted battery, domestic violence, reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Your name, sir?
Marcio Pantoja.
All right, sir, is there anything that you want to tell me, anything you think the court should consider in determining conditions of her release?
It was basically a misunderstanding. We didn't want any of this to happen, you know?
You guys live together?
Yes.
All right. State, do you have any questions for him?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Do you want her to come home? And do you, yes or no?
Yes.
All right. All right, any input from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any input from the defense?
I would just ask for a $500 bond, Your Honor.
How much?
500.
All right, I'll set your bond at $500, no hostile contact. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, ma'am, your name?
Julia
And your last name?
Chikowska.
All right, you're here in 22MM 8337 AO on one count of battery domestic violence. Ma'am, according to your financial affidavit, you do not qualify for the services of the public defender. The public defender is for individuals who are indigent. So I can't appoint a lawyer to represent you. The purpose of today's hearing is for me to review this affidavit and make a determination if there is a valid reason or probable cause for your arrest. And if I do, then to determine conditions of your release. So you can either go forward today without a lawyer, and I can make those determinations so that you can get out of jail, or I can roll this 24 hours to tomorrow so that you can hire a lawyer. But understand that during that 24 hours, you'll stay in jail and you won't get out of jail. You want to go forward today without a lawyer so you can get out of jail? Yes? Okay. All right. Review that affidavit, found probable cause. Your name, sir?
Vitaly.
And sir, is there anything that you want to tell me, anything you think the court should consider in determining conditions of her release?
No, I think the police report has everything.
Do you guys live together?
Yes.
Do you want her to come home?
No.
Okay. Do you want to have any sort of contact with her?
No.
All right. State, do you have any questions for him?
No, Your Honor.
Any input?
No, not really, Your Honor, but she does qualify for pretrial release, and state has no objection.
All right, sir, she can be released without having to post a monetary bond. Do you have any objection to that?
No.
All right, ma'am. So we're inclined to release you without having to post a monetary bond. You'd be released through a pretrial release program with conditions: no contact with the alleged victim, no return to the scene, and maintain a separate residence. Do you guys live together?
Yes, but can I just say?
Oh, yeah, give me 1 second, and then I'll give you your opportunity. You would be able to return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve your belongings. Is that acceptable, or is there anything that you want to say to me? But understand that as a defendant, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. So I don't want you to talk about any of the facts of the case. What do you want to tell me, ma'am?
I called the police because I was the one who was attacked by him. And when I was arrested, I didn't understand why I was arrested until I read what he told in the report. And in the report is not sure. He didn't lie to the police.
Right.
He started the fight with me. I recorded that and he wanted to delete the recording. He started fighting with me to take my phone. He started all of that. And when I called the police, he called the police too, and he told them that I started the fight and he is the victim.
Okay, I can also add to it if.
So, for both of you, today's hearing, the only thing that I can consider is what's been written in this affidavit, okay? So I can't consider anything that you say today. I can't consider anything that you say. And all this hearing is to determine conditions of your release. So if you have video or anything that you want the state attorney, the prosecution, or the defense, or the judge to see, keep that video.
He deleted that. He took my phone, he locked himself in the garage, and he deleted that. Said I will not have a proof. That's what he did.
Well, the case is fairly new. And so just trust the system, and we'll get you both through this, okay? All right, thank you.
Can I get a lawyer after this?
I'm sorry, ma'am?
Like, can I get a lawyer after this? So
Yeah, you can hire whatever lawyer you want to hire, okay? All right. Everything that we did is over as soon as you walk out of this room, okay? Your name, sir? Your name?
Lopez.
All right, 22MM 8319 AO, one count of battery, domestic violence. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any input from the state?
Hey, Your Honor.
Any input from the defense?
Just a one-time return, Your Honor.
All right, I'll set your bond at $500, no contact, no return, maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons.
And a
Then
one-time.
you can return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve your belongings. Your name, sir?
All
All right, sir, out on bond on a trespass, 22MM 645AW here today, and 22MM 8340 AO battery domestic. Reviewed that affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any input from the state?
Hey, Your Honor.
Any input from the defense?
I would just ask for a reasonable bond on the new law and no action on the out on bond, given that they're not related, Your Honor.
Set as bond on the new case at $500, no contact, no return, maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. On your out on bond case, I'll revoke your release. In that case, set a new bond of $1,000. Your name, sir?
I'm saying on my friend.
22MM 8345 AO, one count of violation of a domestic injunction. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender, or I'm sorry, were you interested in the services of the public defender? Did you want to represent yourself or hire a private attorney? Sir? With regards to a lawyer, what do you want to do?
I don't know.
Okay, do you want me to see if you qualify for a public defender today, or do you want to represent yourself today?
I need a police defender.
Do you have a job?
No.
How much money do you have as income?
None.
How do you survive?
I'm on Social Security.
How much do you get in Social Security?
1,100 a month.
How often do you get $1,100?
I don't get it anymore. They suspend it. When you come to Yale, they suspend it.
When's the last time you got $1,100?
I don't know.
Think hard. You rent or own?
I live here with my wife.
You live with your wife. Does she rent or own?
No.
Do you have a mortgage?
No.
You don't have to pay any bills?
No.
No? Okay. All right. Does your wife have a job?
She has a business.
She has what?
A business.
A business. That's a job. How much money does she make?
I don't know.
You don't know. You don't know how much money your wife makes. All right, I'll appoint the public defender. Any input from the state?
I would only note that, Your Honor, there has been a previous domestic violence conviction from 2019.
Right. All right. Any input from the defense?
Just a reasonable bond and a one-time return.
All right. I'll set your bond at $1,000. No contact, no return, maintain separate residence. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. You can return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve your belongings. Your name, ma'am?
Iris Viviana Ramos Lopez.
You're here in 22MM 8343AO, one count of battery, domestic violence. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any input from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any input from the defense?
One-time return, Your Honor.
All right, set your bond at, I think she qualified for PTR? Yeah.
She does.
Does she want PTR or bond? All right, set her bond at $500 or PTR with conditions, no contact, no return, maintain separate.
She wants pretrial release.
All right, I give her pretrial release.
I'm so sorry.
No contact, no return, maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons.
Sorry.
One-time return with the assistance of law enforcement.
That's it.
Thank you, Madam
Number
Clerk.
for the attorneys on there.
Your name, sir?
Alfredo Santos.
22MM 8313AO, one count of battery, dating violence. Review that affidavit, found probable cause. Appoint the public defender. Any input from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any input from the defense?
I would just ask for a $500 bond, Your Honor, and a one-time return with law enforcement.
All right, set his bond at $500, no contact, no return, maintain separate residence. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. You can return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve your belongings. Your name, ma'am? Oh. Your name?
Alicia Spencer.
22MM 523AA, one count of battery, dating violence. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Does she want bond or PTR?
I'll release, Your Honor.
All right, we'll give her pretrial release. No contact, no return, maintain separate residence. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons.
Did you have that one-time return?
She can return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve her belongings.
That's it.
Your name, sir?
Velez.
All right, sir, you're here in 22MM 713AW, one count of battery. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public defender. Any input from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any input from the defense?
I would just ask for a $500 bond, Your Honor, as opposed to pretrial release.
All right, I'll set your bond at $500, no contact, no return, maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. All right, sir, your name?
Antonio what?
All right, 22 MM 8334AO, one count of battery domestic violence. Sir, were you interested in the services of the public defender? Did you want to represent yourself or hire a private attorney?
Represent myself.
You want to represent yourself today? All right. All right, review the affidavit, found probable cause. Your name, sir?
Kenneth Watkins.
All right, sir, what do you want to tell me? Mr. Walker, Kenneth?
Oh, I want to, my son having problems. He need to talk to someone. And I wish the court can let him talk to somebody. I try to talk to him, but something's going on and I don't know what.
What do you
I
mean?
know what's going on that's bothering him, but I still think he need to talk to someone.
What do you mean by talk to someone?
Well, some things it's abnormal to me and his mom.
As in, you think there's some mental health issues, or
Yeah.
you think that there's some drug issues, or?
Oh, it's not a drug. I don't think it's a drug issue.
Okay.
He's got some problems with his kids, and he haven't been able to see them, and that's been a big problem for him.
Okay. State, do you have any questions?
Hmm?
You guys live together?
Yeah.
You want him to come home?
Yeah, let him come home.
Okay.
You know.
So the purpose of the hearing today is to determine conditions of his release. There isn't much I can do as far as having him talk to someone or something like that. Like, I can't order him to counseling or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really help you there unless you have a better idea for me. Do you have a job?
Me?
Him?
No.
Okay. All right. All right, any input from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Antonio, I'm offering to release you through a program called pretrial release. You'll be monitored through pretrial release to make sure that everything's going well with you. You don't have to post any money. With conditions, no hostile contact. That means no physical, mental, emotional, verbal abuse. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. Is that acceptable to you, or is there anything that you want to tell me? But understand that as a defendant, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Is there anything you want to tell me, or is that acceptable?
I choose both, say something and accept it.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yes, acceptable. And mentally, like the issue I got, it is from my children being absent and stuff like that, and a little bit more outside sources and stuff. So it's not nothing like that, like no hostile contact. I can appreciate that, So if I can be released today, that would be greatly appreciated.
What part of town do you live in? I got rid of your.
Pine Hills.
Okay, all right. No. All right. So I'll release you through the pretrial release program. I don't know if there's any churches or anything around, but they do offer groups for people that might be in a similar situation. I don't know if it's a divorce or if it's a child custody issue or something like that, but there's like group things that you can do. Forget what they're called. That might help you out. I'm not going to order you to do it, but I could suggest it. All right? All right. Good luck. All right. Thank you for being here.
Okay, thank you.
Your name?
Jimmy Williams.
22 MM 8262 AO, battery domestic violence via arrest warrant. According to this, your bond is set at no bond. With conditions, no contact with the victim, maintain separate residence, no weapons or firearms. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Any input from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any input from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'll set your bond at $500 and I'll stay the conditions. All right, ma'am, your name? Your name? What is it?
Elisa Bosini.
All right. 22 MM 4634 AO, out of county warrant on possession of drug paraphernalia. This is out of Lake County. According to this, your bond is set at no bond. Lake County has 24 hours to come pick you up starting now. Do you have any questions? No, thank you. All right, ma'am, your name? All right, 22 MM 160 out of county warrant on a violation of probation on a petty theft out of Osceola County. According to this warrant, your bond is set at no bond. Were you interested in the services of the public defender? Did you want to represent yourself or hire a private attorney?
Hire a private attorney.
All right, Osceola County has 24 hours to come pick you up starting now. Do you have any questions?
What happens if they don't pick me up?
We'll bring you back, and if they don't have a good reason, we'll let you go.
Yeah? Alright.
Your name? Yep.
Gene Dorzar.
All right, sir, you were here in 2021 CF 291AO out of County Warren on a domestic battery strangulation, 2 counts, and criminal mischief, 2 counts out of Marion County. According to this warrant, your bond is set at no bond. Marion County has 72 hours to pick you up starting now. Do you have any questions?
It's just a violation of probation, correct?
Correct.
All right. Oh, you said 72 hours?
Yep.
And that wasn't from yesterday, that's from today?
Starts right now.
Okay. And if they do not come get me,
Same as the other lady, we'll bring you back. If they don't have a valid reason, we'll let you go.
bring me back as far as,
We'll bring you back here to court and talk to you, and if they don't have a reason, then we cut you loose.
but I still have to handle it with them, right? Okay.
At the end of the day, yes.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Your name, sir? Your name?
Pedro Maldonado.
221-656 CFA out of County Warrant, out of Seminole County. According to this warrant, it's for a failure to appear on a grand theft. Retail, your bond is set at no bond. Seminole County has 24 hours to pick you up starting now. Do you have any questions?
I have failure to appear, sir, but I went to court last week, and I report every week to my bail's bondman, A+ bond across the street, and I have proof that I went to court last week.
All right. So you may realize we're in Orange County right now. I have nothing to do with Seminole County other than to let you know that they're looking for you. So you can contact your bail bondsman. Maybe they can contact the judge in Seminole County, or if you have a lawyer, you can contact your lawyer and they can contact the judge in Seminole County and see what they can do.
Thank you.
Okay, good luck. Your name, sir?
William Baptiste.
All right, sir, you're here in 2020 CF 1095AO on a violation of probation on a grand theft out of Orange County here. According to this warrant, your bond is set at no bond. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you.
Okay.
You have to call the attorney.
Okay, I can't change that.
Gentleman in the back, what's your name? Mr. Johnson, you're here in 17 CF 7301AO on a violation of probation out of Orange County. Your bond on that is set at no bond. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you as well, okay?
Your Honor, he's stating that he has a $1,000 bond. Is that?
It was on my probation officer wrote it on my thing. Also bonded out of Seminole County, $1,000 cash. I know.
This is an Orange County case.
Yeah.
It's completely different.
There's no.
You might have more than one case going on. This one says no bond.
Okay.
All right.
Johnson.
Yeah. Pierre? Yeah, I did him. All right, sir, your name? All right, sir, 17 CF 14726AO, violation of probation out of, Orange County. According to this, your bond is set at no bond. Were you interested in the services of the public defender? Did you want to represent yourself or hire a private attorney?
Public defender.
All right. Do you have a public defender in your other cases?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. We'll appoint the public defender. Do we have Eddie Williams? 2020 CF 12222AO VOP, temporarily appoint, waiver roll.
Waive, Your Honor.
All right, no bond. How about Zhao? 2014 CF 13080, violation of probation, temporary appoint, waiver roll.
Waive, Your Honor.
All right, no bond on that one. Are we ready on our 33s?
Yes, Your Honor.
Omar Ali Jaba, or Aliba, 22 CF 13193AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Kendrick Bernard Brown, 22 CF 11407AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
George Higgins, 22 CF 12679AO.
Granted, case was no billed.
Brian Lattimore, 22 CF 11885AO.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Sean Palmer, 22 CF 13081AO.
Denied. Information was filed.
Ernest Sweeting, 22 CF 13001 AO.
Granted. Notice of non-filing.
Bryant Thomas, 22 CF 9981 AO.
Granted. Notice of non-filing.
Jamie Ward, 22 CF 13093 AO.
Granted. Notice of non-filing.
That's all I have for the 33s, right?
Number 4.
Good afternoon, folks. My name is Kurt Hitzman, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, more likely than not you're the person who committed that crime. However, as you stand before me this afternoon, I presume that you are innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the state attorney's office is able to prove the charges against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release this afternoon, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this afternoon. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are being recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you to please raise your right hands and be sworn. Y'all solemnly swear or affirm, tell truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Outstanding. When you hear your name called, you can step forward to the podium. Crystal Knott. Afternoon, Crystal. Date of birth?
11/29/86.
Crystal, the charge is felony domestic battery by strangulation. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, I guess.
All right, I'll appoint the PD. State.
Defendant has a withhold of adjudication for a 2019 possession of marijuana and paraphernalia and a driving while license suspended, a 2008 withhold for grand theft, and a 2007 withhold for possession of marijuana.
Very good. All right. And Crystal, I have an address for you at 429 Stafford Avenue in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
Quite a while.
Okay. Are you working these days? Are you working these days?
No, I go to school.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $2,000. Condition of the bond is that you'll have no contact with Ms. Huff while this charge is pending. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, don't contact her through social media, don't go where she lives, don't go where she works, you don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting her, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond can be revoked and you can be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if she wants the contact. So if you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that she cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision she gets to make. She may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. She may tell them she's not interested in pursuing this matter, but that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case or your lawyer tell you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped and you should not have contact. In addition, I have to hold you this afternoon until 4 p.m. so that if she wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important you not have contact, because in that case, not only would you get your bond revoked here, but you'd get new charges for violating the injunction. Were you and Ms. Huff living together, Crystal?
She was staying with me. She's homeless. She lives in her car or whatever, so she was staying with me. I honestly didn't do anything to her.
Well, I presume you're innocent, Crystal. That's what this is about. So is she like in your home or in an RV on the home? I wasn't sure when I was reading it.
Yeah, she was sleeping on a couch in my RV. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, is the RV separate from the house, or is that what the house is?
It's my house. My aunt lives in front.
Okay. All right, well, so I don't know where she's going, but be advised that, of course, I've ordered you not to have contact with you. So if she's there, you'll have to find someplace else, okay? You understand?
I do.
All right. And in that case, you could go by to pick up clothes, toothbrush, whatever you need for wherever you plan to go. To do that, you've got to contact the sheriff's office first. They'd arrange to meet you there. Stand by while you got your things and got going where you're going. I'll have you back in court on December 6th. Very, very important in your case that you contact the public defender when you get out, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Amanda Mackenberg? Afternoon, Amanda, date of birth?
5/1985.
Man, I have a warrant for you out of Hillsborough County. Judge down there thinks you failed to appear on a misdemeanor charge. Looks like driving on a suspended license. That judge set your bond at $1,000. I don't have any authority to change that, Amanda. If you can post a bond, you can get out of jail here, go down to Tampa, find out when they want you in court. If you're unable to post the bond, we'll notify the folks in Hillsborough County immediately, and they'd have 5 days to come and pick you up, okay?
Yes, sir. My parents should have probably already posted.
Very good. Thanks, Amanda.
Yes. Thank you.
Cody Gray? Afternoon, Cody, date of birth?
04/07/1990.
Cody, the charge driving under the influence, there's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you're going to represent yourself, you're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defenders.
I'll appoint the PD, state.
Defendant has an adjudication of guilt for leaving the scene of a crash with property damage in 2016, a trespass and disorderly conduct, and a withhold on another trespass. 2011, opposing law enforcement without violence, adjudication of guilt, and a withhold on a trespass after warning. 2010, resisting law enforcement without violence, adjudication of guilt, and a disorderly, and a 2008 possession of alcohol under 21, for which he got pretrial intervention.
Cody, I have an address for you on Cumberland Lane. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
Pretty much my whole life.
You working these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I work for a general contractor.
Okay. Cody, I'll set your bond at $500. I'm going to have you back in court on December 12th. Very important that you go see the public defender when you get out, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Jeremy Simons? Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
8589.
Jeremy, got 3 charges. I've got an ag assault, a criminal mischief, and a battery. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Well, I guess.
Appoint the PD, state.
Defendant has in 2021 adjudication of guilt for possession of paraphernalia. 2020, he has 3 adjudications of guilt for possession of controlled substance and 1 adjudication of guilt for possession of paraphernalia. 2019, petty theft. 2015, no valid license. 2010, DUI, no motor vehicle license, leaving the scene of an accident. These are all guilt adjudications. 2008, grand theft, less than $5,000, burglary of a structure, and adult permits under 16-year-old to possess a weapon.
Jeremy, any place in particular you've been staying lately? Are you living outdoors? What's going on?
I'm living outdoors, sir.
All right. Are you working at all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what kind of work are you doing?
I still do lawn care, sir. Superior Lawns.
Okay. I'm going to leave your bonds per the schedule, which is $2,000 on the ag assault, $1,000 on the misdemeanors. Order you not to go back to that Wendy's while this case is pending or to have any contact with Miss Emmerich. We'll have you back in court on the 6th of December. If you get out, it's very important that you contact the public defender. If you can't get out, they'll come see you before you go to court again, okay?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Joseph Wilkerson. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
4/11/83, sir.
Joe, I've got 5 charges today. I've got a false imprisonment, a felony domestic battery by strangulation, witness tampering, domestic battery, and resisting without. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please, sir.
Appoint the PD, state.
Defendant has, this year, open in Pasco County, a driving while license suspended and a DUI. He has open in Hernando County, a driving while license suspended. He has in 2018 an adjudication of guilt on a petty theft and a battery. 2016, adjudication of guilt on a battery, carrying a concealed weapon, driving while license suspended. 2015, adjudication on possession of marijuana, possession of paraphernalia. 2015, carrying a concealed weapon. 2012, possession of marijuana, less than 20 grams. 2007, armed robbery, grand theft, resisting or obstructing officer without violence, retail theft. 2005, he has an disorderly intoxication. In 2004, he has a driving while license suspended or revoked.
Excuse me, can I correct one of those? It was actually a strong arm robbery, not an armed robbery.
Okay. And Joe, I have an address for you on Blandon Street in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Bladen Street, yes, sir.
All right. How long have you been there?
I don't know, about 8 months now, sir.
And does Ms. Nunez live there as well?
Yes, sir. I don't think she lives there anymore.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
No, sir.
How long has it been since you worked?
Since I wrecked my truck and got my last driving on suspended license.
All right. I'm going to set your bond on the false imprisonment and the felony domestic battery at $5,000 each, on the tampering at $2,000, the 2 misdemeanors of $1,000. That's a total of $14,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Ms. Nunez. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Then the other thing, Joe, is it appears that you have an open case, 22 CT 2325. Job number 1 when you're out on bond on a charge like that is don't pick up new charges. It appears to me that you have. So pursuant to Florida Statute 903.0471, I'm going to revoke your bond in that case. We'll hold you without bond for a couple of weeks until that comes back on the 28th. My guess is we'll get that case resolved on the 28th, and then you'll be able to bond out on the other charges. The other charges are coming back on the 6th of December. When you do get out, very important that you see the public defender, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Your Honor.
All right, 2020 CT 7246 AO, Division 62 VOP, DUI, arraignment, PD.
Denial, Your Honor.
All right, Division 62 is that February 20th at 8:30?
Yes.
All right. And 12C with Judge Brian Duckworth.
I apologize, what's the date again? February?
February 20th.
Thank you.
They don't resolve it at, here.
Timothy Faulkner, refused.
22 CT 1441 AE PD. What do you want to do with them?
Waive and enter a plea of not guilty.
All right, Division 85, that's PTC 130 at 9 a.m. Courtroom 4A. And he has 2 cases, 22 CT 1442 as well. Oh, he's got 3, 22 1443.
The same, Your Honor.
All right, your name, sir?
Tyler Seithel.
22 CT 1572 AE, Division 83, Dwillis, 10 days, PD, arraignment.
Enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
All right. Division 83, January 9th at 8:30 a.m. Courtroom 6C, Judge Martha Adams. Your name, sir? Your name, sir? All right, 22 MO 1258 AO trespass PD, 33 days, Division 83.
Enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
All right, Division 83, PTC 19 at 8:30 a.m., courtroom 6C, Judge Martha Adams.
Go ahead.
All right, ma'am, your name?
Gina Lorraine.
22 MM 3237 AO trespass PD, Division 83. It's a VOP?
We'll enter denial, Your Honor.
All right. Division 83 VOP, January 9th at 1:30 p.m., 6C, Judge Martha Adams.
Sure, next court date.
Your name, sir? I need to slow down.
Your name?
Watches Michael.
All right, 22 MM 579 AW, PD, battery, criminal mischief, Division 85, 36 days.
Enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
All right, Division 85, Judge Faye Allen, PTC, 9 a.m. on January 30th, courtroom 4A. Your name, sir? All right, 22 MM 7545 AO, battery, Division 50.
Enter a plea of not guilty, Your
All
Honor.
right. PTC, January 6th at 9 a.m., courtroom 4E. Rembert? Oh, that's you? He's got two cases, 22 MM 7630 as well, violation of pretrial release conditions. Same date and time, place. Good luck with that, Judge. Whoop. We did, oh, no, never mind.
Donna, Princeton,
Yep.
mental health, Your Honor.
All right. Wasn't the first guy this morning also the same last name, Crittenden or something like that?
No, that was
Different name, okay. 22 MM 8332.
Waive, Your Honor.
Petty theft, review the affidavit, found probable cause, I'll stay the bond, no return.
Casey.
And your last name?
Is
Them to Antonio Lemon.
Sir.
Did I accidentally, was that paper clip? Who?
Casey.
It may have been accidentally attached to whatever I just gave you. Oops, I'm throwing it now.
Sorry.
All right, 22 MM 8342 AO, trespass in a structure or conveyance. Were you interested in the services of the public defender? Did you want to represent yourself or hire a private attorney?
Wait.
No, we'll get to you next, sir. Don't worry.
She's actually going to resolve her case, Your Honor,
All right,
with a withhold of adjudication credit time served and court cost.
wonderful.
She would like to accept and enter a plea of no contest.
All right. Didn't even fill out a form. All right, ma'am, is this your signature? Hi.
Yeah.
All right. You pleading guilty or no contest?
No contest.
No contest.
Accept your no contest plea. I'll withhold adjudication, sentence you to 2 days with credit for 2 days. Your costs, I'll give you a year to pay, 30 days to appeal. Good luck. All right, Mr. Lemon, you're ROR'd on a burglary of a structure and a criminal mischief, 22 CF 9051 AO. You're also out on bond on a possession of a controlled substance or ROR, 22 CF 7330 AO. Here today, 22 MM 8341 AO, trespass on property. Reviewed that affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. I'll stay your bond. You want to resolve it as well?
Yes, Your Honor, and the offer is an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, and no return to 7715 Cradle Avenue, and he would like to accept and enter a plea of no contest.
All right.
In exchange for pleading, Your Honor, I would ask that you take no action on the out on bond.
All right. Is this your signature, sir? Guilty or no contest? I'll accept your no contest plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to, I'm gonna assume 2 days. 2 days with credit for 2 days. Court costs a year to pay and no return to 7715 Prado Avenue, okay? All right, 30 days to appeal. Good luck. Take no action on his add-on bonds.
Smiles Workman refused.
22 MM 8314AO, battery, temporarily appoint, waiver roll.
Waive, Your Honor.
All right, I'll stay as bond, no contact with the alleged victim. And, there we go, that's it. All right. Refused. He didn't want to see it.
Did you want to go?
You stayed at 500?
Yes,
Any other conditions?
no contact.
He said,
Thank you. All right, ma'am, your name?
Maylene Marie Grievous.
All right, 21 MM 8042 AO, failure to appear on a trespass. Brandon failed to appear for PTC on 11/21 of this year. Your bond's set at $500. I'll appoint the PD if they're not, or were you interested in the services of the public defender? Did you want to represent yourself? PD's already on the case.
Okay. I appeared in writing 3 times, and it got to the destination. I was trespassed in Seminole County from the post office, where I would not be able to receive my mail. And I appeared in writing, and that's all I can say.
All right. Make sure you stay in touch with your lawyer, okay? Do you want to resolve it? Oh.
Fight it.
Well, do you want to resolve it today or fight it
no,
today?
she wants to fight it, but not resolve it.
All right. Good luck. Make sure you stay in touch with your lawyer, okay?
Okay.
Is that a no return, Your Honor?
Didn't say it on it. Do you want a no return?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
All right, no return. Your name, sir?
Lorenzo Hopper.
22 MM 466 AO, failure to appear on a petty theft. According to this, your bond set at $500. You failed to appear for trial on May 6th of this year. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you, okay?
Could I have just a moment, Your Honor?
Oh, hold on.
Hopper, right?
Yeah. I just want to make sure I have that, so.
Six months, SC to be completed within 90 days.
Oh, so you can complete the ICC? There, all right.
But no objection to early term once it's done. How about that?
Thank you, Your Honor. We're just gonna stay the $500.
All right, thank you.
Again, Your Honor, no return?
I know,
To your attorney.
Sorry.
What did she say? Madam Clerk, was there a no return on the original, conditions of release?
There's no.
Well, he's just here for failure to appear, so what was his original conditions? Oh. We'll include no return. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thanks for bringing it to my attention that she was talking.
Thank you, Your Honor.
She's
Yes.
so soft-spoken,
Yeah, no, I couldn't hear.
I wasn't aware.
I had no idea what was going on. Your name, sir?
Brian Perez Cave.
Thank you for speaking up. 22 MM 8318 AO, resisting officer without violence, reviewed. According to this warrant, your bond is set at $1,000 plus pretrial release. I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you, and I will stay the bond and PTR.
Your Honor, I apologize. Can you tell me the case number again, please?
Yes, thank you for speaking up. 22 MM 8318 is what I have.
Thank you.
Yep. Was she talking, Madam Clerk? Your name, sir?
Timothy Dwayne Lyman.
Yeah.
All right, 22 MO 1368, disorderly. Reviewed the affidavit, found PC 250. Does he want to resolve?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication, credit time served.
All right.
If you would like to accept an enter plea of no contest.
You pleading guilty or no contest?
No contest.
All right, no, accept your no contest plea. Adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days of credit for 2 days. Your costs and filing fee, I'll give you a year to pay, 30 days to appeal. Good luck. Now we're gonna go faster.
Dominique McNutt is mental health, Your Honor.
McNutt, out on bond, 22 MM 6769 AO, trespass and a petty theft in an open container.
We reset for tomorrow, there's an offer.
Oh, yeah, roll to tomorrow, no problem.
Thank you.
Absolutely, whatever you need.
Lillian Smith is mental health, Your Honor.
22 MO 1370, same, we'll roll that to tomorrow?
Yes, Your Honor.
Roll that to tomorrow, Madam Clerk.
Alexis Nelson is medical, Your Honor.
Waive, Your Honor.
All right, let me know when you're ready. All right, 22 CT 7059 and 7060 reviewed PC appoint. What was the reason?
Medical.
Medical?
Medical.
Medical.
Waive, Your Honor.
All right. I'll reduce count 1 to $100 and stay count 2 at 1,000. Your name?
John Baker.
All right, sir, you're here in 2020 CF 14165 AO on a failure to appear on a possession of a firearm. According to this, you failed to appear for drug court status on December 9th of this year. Your bond is set at no bond, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you, okay?
Hold on, just a minute.
All right. All right, your name?
Kevin Barrow.
All right, out on bond on a 22 CF 8753 AO, possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia. Here today, 22 CF 13964 AO, burglary of an occupied conveyance unarmed, simple assault via arrest warrant. According to this bond, your bond is set at $3,500 on count 1 and $250 on count 2 with conditions: no contact with the alleged victim, no return to the scene, and no use or possession of drugs or narcotics without a valid prescription. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, and I'll reduce count 2 to $100. What's it? Oh,
I'd ask that you take no action on the out on bond as it has not been filed on you.
all right. State, what's the status of the out-on bond case?
Defendant was arrested July 27th. Formal charges have not been filed.
All right, I'll take no action. Your name, sir? Dr. Berry. All right, 22 CF 14410, aggravated fleeing or looting with property damage, aggravated assault with a law enforcement officer of the motor vehicle, leaving the scene of a crash with property damage, driving while license suspended or revoked as a habitual traffic offender. According to this, your bond on count 1 is set at no bond, $7,500, $2,500, $1,500. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Any input from the state with regards to release?
No, Your Honor.
Any input from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'll set count 1 at $20,000. I'll reduce count 2 to $150, count 3 to $150, and count 4 to $150.
Rolando Briceno is medical.
ROR on a meth, 22 CF 2250. ROR on petty theft, 22 MM 1619. Here today, 22 CF 14392 AO, possession of a controlled substance, resisting officer without violence, temporarily appoint, waiver roll.
Waive, Your Honor.
All right, I'll stay count 1 and reduce count 2 to 100. And what's the status of the add-on bonds?
Your Honor, for the petty theft 22 MM 1619, he was referred to pretrial diversion. However, he was kicked out because he then picked up a felony charge. With regard to the felony charge, 22 CF 2250, formal charges were filed and he has pretrial December 20th.
I'll revoke his release of those cases. Let the judge decide of those cases, determine what a reasonable bond is. Your name? All right, sir, 22 CF 14403 AO, trafficking in fentanyl, 4 grams or more, possession of cocaine, possession of methamphetamine. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender, and I'll set count 1 at 50,000 and stay counts 2 and 3. Your name, sir? All right, 21 CF 2351 AO, you're here on a failure to appear on a grand theft, 3rd degree of a motor vehicle. For instance, you failed to appear for arraignment May 13th of last year. Your bond is set at no bond. According to your financial affidavit, sir, you do not qualify for the services of the public defender. The public defender is for individuals that are indigent. Are you gonna be able to hire a lawyer? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I don't know, I'm trying to figure things out first. I don't wanna answer that yet. I don't know.
Okay, well, here's why I asked. You're sitting in jail right now with no bond, and you're gonna need a lawyer to get you a bond to get out of jail. So I just don't want you to sit in here and rot away without somebody trying to get you out. That's why I asked. You wanna think about it? I can have you come back, like on Monday and see if you got a lawyer or not?
Yeah, that'll be fine, cause I still got to make a few calls and stuff.
Yeah. All right, so if you're still in here, can we put him down for a status on Monday in here? Was that the 19th? Yeah, just reset. So we'll bring you back on Monday, see what you're doing with about a lawyer.
Could I just get the appointed lawyer, then if I do decide to get a, no?
No, you make too much money. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Pretty good money. Yeah, good luck. Yeah. Your name? Oh, up, sorry.
Mr. King. Anthony King is in the hospital.
I'm on Holmes.
That's what we just.
That's what I just did? I did Holmes?
Yes.
Key is in the hospital?
No, Key, we're gonna skip.
Just, we're gonna come back to Key? Okay.
Anthony King is in the hospital.
I have a Robert King. Anthony is in front of him. All right, so Anthony King is hospital.
We'll waive, Your Honor.
All right, 22 CF 14404 AO. I'll stay count 1 having found PC, reduce count 2 to $100. No return to the scene. This is
Robert King.
all right, this is Robert King. Okay, Robert King, 22 CF 12726 AO, possession of MDMA, ecstasy. By arrest warrant, according to this, your bond is set at $1,000. I'll stay your bond and appoint the public defender.
Justin Lope is behavior, Your Honor.
22 CF 14353 AO, temporarily appoint, waiver roll.
Waive, Your Honor.
Stay the bond, having found PC, no return to the scene. Your name?
David Mays.
All right, sir, you're here in 22 CF 14400 on no valid, or grand theft, 3rd degree of a motor vehicle, possession of a weapon or ammo by a state felon, and driving while license suspended or without a valid license. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause. Count 1, I'll reduce to 150. Count 2, I'll stay, and count 3, I'll reduce to 150, or 100.
What was count 2, Your Honor?
That was the possession of ammo and weapon by a felon.
Oh, I don't have the bond amount, that's what I was asking.
Oh, it said 8,000. Guess he's not a local guy. All right, your name? Sir?
Ivan Rivera.
All right, sir, 22 CF 1376600. Aggravated assault with a firearm, 3 counts. Aggravated assault with a motor vehicle, possession of firearm, and the commission of felony, possession of firearm or ammo by a convicted felon. By arrest warrant, according to this, your bond is set at no bond, with conditions: no contact with the victim, no return to the scene, no possession of weapons or firearms. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. State any input with regards to release.
No, Your Honor.
Any input from the defense?
It's a reasonable bond, Your Honor.
I'll set count 1 at $7,500, count 2 at 150, count 3 at 150, count 4 at 150, count 5 at 150, and count 6 at 150, and I'll stay the conditions. Bless you.
Thank you.
All right, sir, your name?
Rodriguez.
What is it?
Victor Rodriguez.
All right, 22 CF 4444 AO, failure to appear on a possession of cocaine. According to this, your bond is set at no bond, failed to appear for trial on October 31st of this year. I'll appoint the public defender if they're not already appointed.
Darius Scott, bonded, Your Honor.
All right. Your name, sir?
Lonnie Tisdale.
What is it?
Lonnie Tisdale.
What happened to Sierra Smith? Mental health? All right. 1 second, sir. I got one case. I'll get to you. Trafficking in 10 grams or more of fentanyl. 21 CF 9622 AO, out on bond on that one here today. 22 CF 14412, attempted burglary of an occupied structure, attempted burglary of a structure, criminal mischief, temporarily appoint, waiver roll.
Waive, Your Honor.
All right, having found PC, I'll stay count 1, reduce count 2 to 150, count 3 to 100, and state what's the status of the case that they're out on bond.
Retrial is set for January 25th, Your
Or
Honor.
revoke or release in that case, let the judge assign to that case determine what a reasonable bond is.
Can I get a no contact, no return, Your Honor?
On trafficking,
No, on the attempted burglary?
did I say that or not? All right. No, you didn't. Madam Clerk?
You did not.
Okay. All right, no contact, no return.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Tisdale, 22 CF 14399 AO, possession of MDMA ecstasy. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause. Appoint the public defender, and I'll stay your bond.
And Your Honor, on the previous person who, defendant that was mental health, the bond that you revoked, they only took action on count 1.
Yeah, isn't it 50,000?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay.
All right, sir, your name? All right, 22 CF 9336 AO, armed burglary of a dwelling with a firearm, larceny greater than 20,000, less than 100. Fraudulent use of credit cards via arrest warrant. According to this, your bond is set at no bond on count 1. Count 2, 1,000, count 3, 500, with conditions to be determined at initial appearance. I'll appoint the public defender. Any input from the state?
Your Honor, count 1 is a first-degree felony punishable by life. I ask defendant be held no bond. All other and I would ask for a no contact, no return, Your Honor.
Any input from the defense?
Your Honor, we reserve our right to have our opinion.
All right, I'll stay the bonds with conditions, no contact, no return. It looks like you got 2 holds out of Osceola County as well, so even if you do get a bond on this, I think you got to clear those hurdles as well. All right? Your name, sir?
Jason Bernado, bonded, Your Honor.
Your name?
Stephen West.
22 CF 14402 AO, trafficking in fentanyl, 4 grams or more. Possession of cocaine, possession of methamphetamine, and a petty theft. Reviewed that affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public defender, and count 1 I'll set at 50,000. I'll stay the additional counts.
Jerome Wilkerson, refused, Your Honor.
Out on bond, grand theft of a motor vehicle, 22 CF 10479 AO. Here today, 22 CF 14398. Theft of farm, merchant, what is that, farm equipment, resisting officer without violence, temporarily appoint, waiver roll.
Waive, Your Honor.
Having found PC, I'll stay the bonds on the new case. On the case that he's out on bond, I'll revoke the release on that, but the judge assigned to that case determine what a reasonable bond is. Your name, sir?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Oh, all right. How are you?
All right.
And your name?
Archie Wooten.
All right, sir. 22 CF 14352 AO, aggravated assault with a firearm. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public defender. Any input from the state with regards to release?
No, Your Honor.
Any input from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I'll set your bond at $7,500, no contact, no return, and do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons, okay? Your name, sir?
Troy Zoner.
What is it?
Troy Zoner.
All right, sir, out on bond on a possession of a firearm by a person found to have committed a delinquent act, carrying a concealed firearm, 21 CF 13124 AO. Here today, 22 CF 14401 AO, carrying a concealed firearm. Reviewed that affidavit, found probable cause, point to public defender. Set your bond at 5,000 on the new case, and I'll revoke your release on the case that you're out on bond. Let the judge assign to that case determine what a reasonable bond is for you. And then we have our one case we passed over. So this gentleman, you need a sign interpreter? Yeah, you want to write it down? Pen and paper? I'm going to temporarily appoint the PD. Do you want to write down that if he wants a sign interpreter, we can do it tomorrow? If he wants to go forward in writing, we can do it today.
He would like to go forward today, Your Honor. I explained the bonds was 1,000 on count 1 and 100 on count 2. He understands that. I would ask that you just stay those bonds.
All right. I will stay the bonds, having found PC. All right, is that everybody? Everything? Yep. All right. Huh?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Peresno Leon, certified Spanish interpreter. I have been previously sworn.
Good afternoon. We're here for initial appearances. The first case I've called is 2022 MM2746, Vanessa Rivera Rodriguez. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you please state your name and date of birth?
Buenas tardes, señora. ¿Puede decir su nombre y fecha de nacimiento?
Vanessa Rivera, 24 del 83.
Maritza Rivera.
Vanessa Rivera.
Vanessa Rivera. April 4th,
83.
1983.
Okay, Ms. Rivera, I am appointing the public defender to represent you today.
Señora Rivera, estoy designando al defensor público para que le represente.
You are here on a charge of battery, touching, or striking, domestic in nature.
Usted está aquí siendo acusada de agresión física de naturaleza violenta.
I have reviewed the charging affidavit and determined that there is probable cause for the charge.
Yo revisé el acta acusatorio y determino de que hay suficiente indicio razonable.
Bond will be set at $1,000. That's with PTR. She qualifies, Officer Jenkins?
Yes, sir.
Fijaré fianza de $1,000 y califica para la libertad condicional.
As a condition of release, you are not to have any contact with the alleged victim.
Como condición de su libertad, no puede tener contacto con la víctima que se alega en este caso.
You are to not return to the scene of the alleged crime.
Usted no puede regresar a la escena del crimen.
You must maintain separate residences from the alleged victim.
Tiene que mantener residencia separada de la víctima.
They already reside separately, is that correct?
Es correcto de que ya residen separados, eso.
Correct.
Correct.
And was the incident at her residence, or I want to make sure I don't prohibit her from going to her residence if that's the case?
The defendant resident, Your Honor.
Okay.
Y quiero asegurarme de que ella no se le regresara a su propia residencia. Esto, la residencia de la víctima o de la abogado de la.
So I'm not going to include no return since it allegedly occurred at the defendant's residence, but I will require separate residences and no contact with the alleged victim.
Basado en eso, entonces no voy a incluir como condición el que no regrese a la residencia porque sucedió en la residencia de la acusada, pero mantengo la condición de que mantenga residencias separadas.
Anything further from the state?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Defense?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, ma'am.
Buena suerte a usted, señora.
Do we? Do we have any additional interpreter cases?
We have Perez Garcia Helson.
Let me find that. Okay. I was confused over this one case.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, if I may have the defendant's name?
Sure, it's Gelson Perez Garcia.
Thank you.
Let us know when you're ready. Mr. Interpreter, you still with us?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Great, just making sure. Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and date of birth, please?
Buenas tardes, señor. Puede decir su nombre y fecha de nacimiento.
Gelson Pérez García, junio 21 del 80.
Gelson Pérez García, June 21st, 1980.
Okay, sir, I am appointing the public defender to represent you today.
Le estoy designando al defensor público para que le represente.
You are here on, let's see, I think it's 2 cases. Is that correct?
Usted está aquí ante 2 acusaciones, eso es correcto.
One's a warrant or a capias? Yes, Your Honor. Okay. All right, so on the first case, 2022 CF 3556, the charges are battery on a law enforcement officer, resisting arrest without violence, or with violence, excuse me, possession of a controlled substance without a prescription, and possession of drug paraphernalia.
El primer caso es 22 CF 3556. La acusación es agresión física en contra de un agente de la ley, resistirse a un agente de la ley con violencia, posesión de una sustancia no prescrita y posesión de parafernalia.
I have reviewed the charging affidavit and determined that there is probable cause for those charges.
He revisado el acta acusatorio y determino de que hay suficiente indicio razonable.
Bond will be set on the battery count at $1,500.
Fianza se fija en la cantidad de $1,500 ante la acusación de agresión.
On the resisting count, $500.
$500 ante la acusación de resistirse.
On the possession of controlled substance at $500.
$500 ante la acusación de posesión de una sustancia controlada.
And possession of drug paraphernalia at $250.
Y $250 de fianza ante la acusación de posesión de parafernalia.
As a condition of bond, you are not to have any drugs or non-prescription medications.
Como condición de su fianza, usted no puede tener en su posesión ninguna droga ni ningún medicamento sin receta.
Anything further from the state on these charges?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, and then, okay, sorry, interpret that.
Ni la defensa ni la fiscalía tienen más nada que plantear.
And on the second case, 2022 CF 2831, you're here on a capious arrest for possession of a controlled substance without prescription and possession of drug paraphernalia.
Y en el otro caso, 22 CF 2831, ese caso es con respecto a una orden de arresto en relación con las acusaciones anteriores de posesión de una sustancia controlada y de parafernalia.
Probable cause was previously found.
Ya se determinó que hay indicios razonables anteriormente.
Bond was previously set at $500 on the possession of controlled substance and $500 on possession of drug paraphernalia, where it will remain.
Ya anteriormente se fijó fianza por la cantidad de $500 por ambas acusaciones, posesión de sustancia controlada y posesión de parafernalia, y mantendré esa cantidad de la fianza.
And as same condition applies for this bond, no drugs or non-prescription medications.
Y impongo las mismas condiciones con respecto a estas acusaciones. No poseer ninguna droga ni ninguna droga sin prescripción.
Anything further from the state?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Defense?
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte, señor.
There's one more, Your Honor. Ortiz de Alba Jose.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and date of birth?
Buenas tardes, señor. ¿Puede decir su nombre completo y fecha de nacimiento? José Ortiz, 1977.
All right, sir. I am appointing the public defender to represent you today.
Señor, estoy designando al defensor público para que le represente.
You're here on one count of alter or destroying or concealing records, documents, or evidence.
Usted está aquí ante la acusación de alterar, esconder o destruir documentos o información.
And one count of possession of drug paraphernalia.
Una acusación por posesión de parafernalia.
I've reviewed the charging affidavit and determined that there is probable cause for those charges.
Yo revisé el acta acusatorio y determino de que hay suficiente indicio razonable para esas acusaciones.
On the first count, bond will be set at $1,000.
$1,000 de fianza ante la primera, por la primera acusación.
On the second count, the possession of drug paraphernalia, bond will be set at $250.
$250 de fianza por la acusación de poseer parafernalia.
As a condition of bond, you are not to have any drugs or non-prescription medications.
Como condición de la fianza, usted no puede tener en su posesión ningún tipo de droga ni medicamentos sin prescripción.
Anything further from the state?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Defense?
Nothing further.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte para usted, señor. Your Honor, respectfully, may I have the case number?
Yes, indeed. Case number 2022 CF 3555.
Your Honor, do you still require the services of the interpreter?
Yes, Your Honor. There's one more, Lopez Albert, and he has a private attorney.
Okay. All right. They can approach. Can you say the name again?
Lopez Albert.
Lopez Algar. All right.
Your Honor, I don't know if the attorney is there because the attorney is not here.
Anybody present for Mr. Lopez?
Daryl Smith?
Daryl Smith?
Yes.
There's no Daryl Smith in the courtroom currently. Do you want me to wait and call you at the end, sir?
Señor de,
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so if you could just return and we'll call you at the end to see if Mr. Smith has arrived.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Interpreter, that's it for now, but I suspect we'll need you in a little bit when we call that case again, okay?
thank you very much, Your Honor. We are at your service. You have a good day.
Thank you. All right. Erica Leticia Walters.
Erika, Leticia, President approaching, Your Honor.
This is out of county, right? What, Lee? You said Lee. That's fine. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you state your name and date of birth?
Erica Leticia Walters, October 15th, 1990.
All right, I'm provisionally appointing the public defender for you today. You're here on an out-of-county warrant from Lee County for failure to appear on a DUI. You will be transferred to Lee County. So at this time, bond's going to remain at 0, and you'll be transferred to Lee County, okay? Best of luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry, she has 2 additional cases. Are they all at Lee County?
Yes, all of
Okay.
them.
All right, so there's a separate,
Yes.
is she, yeah. 2 separate warrants? Yeah. Okay, so there's a separate warrant arrest for failure to appear for DUI. You're also going to be transported to Lee County for that, and bond will remain at 0. And then a third warrant arrest, failure to appear in a DUI, on a DUI charge. Again, you'll be transferred to Lee County, and bond will remain at 0 at this time. Okay, best of luck, ma'am. Now you're free to go. Not free to go. All right, Travis Luther Brand.
President approaching.
Afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Can you state your name and date of birth, sir?
Travis Brand, January 20th, 1995.
All right, Mr. Brand, I am provisionally appointing the public defender for you today. You are also here on an out-of-county warrant from Orange County, failure to appear, and you're driving while license suspended. Looks like bond was previously set at $2,000, so it's going to remain at $2,000, and you'll be transferred to Orange County.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right. Corian Jones Bentley.
President approaching, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Can you state your name and date of birth, sir?
Orion Jones Bentley, 1992, November 17th.
All right, sir. I am appointing the public defender to represent you today. You're here on a warrant arrest for violation of probation. Bond was set at 0. It's going to remain at 0 at this time. Okay. Best of luck, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm sorry, he's got one more case. Also, so first one was 21 CF 2787. On case 21 CF 2105, you've also been arrested from a warrant for violation of probation. Bond set at 0, it will remain at 0. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Emmanuel Theodore Williams.
Your Honor, he refused, Your Honor. We want to waive his appearance.
Okay. All right. I am appointing the public defender to represent Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams has refused, but counsel has waived his appearance at initial appearances. He was here on a failure to appear for arraignment, bench warrant arrest. Bond was previously set by the judge at $1,000. It's going to remain at $1,000.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jonathan Rosa Rivera.
Jonathan, present approaching.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and date of birth?
Jonathan Rosa Rivera, September 13, 1992.
All right, sir, I'm appointing the public defender to represent you today. You're here on a warrant arrest for violation of standard conditions of probation. Bond was set at 0. It's going to remain at 0 at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Arturo Rivera Ocasio.
President approaching, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and date of birth?
Arturo Rivera, febrero 22, 2001.
All right, sir, I am appointing the public defender to represent you today. You are here on a warrant arrest for battery, touching or striking. Probable cause was previously found by the judge signing the warrant. I've also determined that there is probable cause for the charge upon reviewing that warrant. Bond is going to be set at $1,000 with PTR, with pretrial release. As a condition of your bond, sir, you are not to have any contact with the alleged victim. You're to maintain separate residences. You're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You are not to consume alcohol, and you are not to have any illegal drugs or non-prescription medications. And also, you are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Anything further from the state?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Defense?
Nothing further.
Okay, best of luck, Mr. Rivera. Albert Lopez.
Albert Lopez, this is the one with the private attorney, Your Honor, that speaks Spanish?
Okay, I hear you. So we'll come back to him. Dexter Keith.
President approaching, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I represent Mr. Keith, Jamila
He
Cansey.
informed me that he has a private attorney, Your Honor.
Okay, she is present. Good afternoon.
Your Honor, Jamila Cansey on behalf of Dexter Keith.
All right, Mr. Keith, can you state your name and date of birth, sir?
Dexter Lamar Keefe Sr., 12/31/72.
All right, sir. You're here on a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. Excuse me, it was an arrest warrant. So probable cause was previously found, and I have reviewed the affidavit and determined that there is probable cause for that charge. Bond is going to be set at $15,000.
Your Honor, if we may, Mr. Keith has no priors, Your Honor, and he's a lifelong resident of Florida. We're requesting at this time a more reasonable bond, $2,500.
State, would you like to be heard on that?
Your Honor, state would object and would ask for a higher bond, but we leave it at the discretion of the court.
One moment, let me review one thing. PTR, do you have a history?
The only history he had was from 2004 to 2006, attaining unemployment compensation, VOP, and he was on probation for 1 year.
All right. Bond's going to be set at $10,000, given the nature of this charge, the facts constituting the charge in terms of protecting the safety of the public. I'm going to set it at $10,000 as a condition of the bond. Mr. Keith, you are not to have any contact with the alleged victim. You are not to own or possess any weapons or firearms. Do the parties,
No, they don't reside together, Your Honor. He's actually a resident of St. Lucie County.
Okay. All right, so maintain separate residences. I think that goes without saying. It's, what did this occur? Was it in? So I'll also require no return to the scene of the alleged crime. Anything further, counsel?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
State?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck, Mr. Keith. Thank you, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
Otis Decatur.
Your Honor, the defense has a PC argument to make for this case.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and date of birth?
Otis Decatur, 102380.
All right, sir. I am appointing the public defender to represent you. You are here on 4 counts, 1 count grand theft auto, 1 count criminal mischief, $200 or less, 1 count burglary to a structure or conveyance while armed, and 1 count of possession of burglary tools. Ms. Costa, would you like to be heard on?
Yes, Your Honor. There is nowhere in the 4 corners of the affidavit that the defendant were armed while the alleged burglary occurred. And the affidavit states that the knife was found after the fact.
Okay, so you're just referring, your position only is with respect to the burglary while armed?
Yes,
Count?
Your Honor.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
State?
Your Honor, I do see that while I was reading the facts of the case. However, we do have where the officer observed on the surveillance video that the defendant at the time was carrying the bag that was later found after the defendant consented.
Can you just direct me to where you're referring to?
Yes, Your Honor. Hold on. It will be page 2, paragraph 4. I'm sorry, the 3rd paragraph. I'm trying to find it, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. It's a long affidavit, so take
It's
your
the
time.
second one, the 2nd paragraph on page 2. I asked the 2 occupants to exit.
Let me just, I'll review it really quickly and
Sure.
I don't see anything in there about a knife.
I lost it, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Looks like the 4th one, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Page 1, last paragraph.
So your position then is that because the bag had those items in it, and where do you see in this affidavit that that he had that particular bag when he allegedly committed the crime?
The video showed the white male should be dressed
And just where are you looking at, just for my benefit?
in a baby blue drawstring backpack. So he was observed carrying that backpack.
And that's my question. Where do you see that portion of the affidavit? Oops. Where do you see, where do you see where it talks about what the video displayed?
Page 1, last paragraph,
Okay.
the second to last sentence.
But the knife was found in that bag some, how long are we talking about between the crime and when they arrested them? Seems like, and wasn't there another individual involved? And so when it just says a white male, how do I know that that's this gentleman?
Matching the description. The clothes that he was wearing at the time. Your Honor, in the alternatives, they will argue that there is enough of probable cause to find the defendant, to charge the defendant with burglary pursuant to Florida statute A10.02 subsection 1A, the burglary without being armed at the time of the burglary.
Defense, any position as to whether or not I can kind of lower it here and as opposed to having the state just file it?
Yes, Your Honor. The affidavit states that it was 6:30 hour when they called. And the officer showed up at the 10, at the homeless camp 10, few hours after that. Can I have a moment, Your Honor?
Yes. I'm really just, I understand your position on probable cause, so right now I'm just asking about the state's suggestion that they could, I could find probable cause for a different charge. So did you have anything else you wanted to add, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so, I'm not gonna find probable cause on the burglary while armed. If the state wishes to charge a different charge, they're free to do that. I will find probable cause on grand theft auto, set bond at $2,500. On the criminal mischief I'll find probable cause and set bond at $250. On the possession of burglary tools, I'll find probable cause and set bond at $250. As a condition of the bond, the defendant is not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. Does the state have a position on the open case that he's ROR'd on, 22 CF 1049?
They will ask for that to be revoked.
Defense, would you like to be heard on that?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so I will revoke ROR in case 2022 CF 1049 and set at 0 at this time. Sir, if you wish to have a bond in your separate case, you're free to file a motion with the division judge. Okay, best of. Yeah. Yes.
And Your Honor, if I may, can I please have the amount of the bond on the grand theft?
2,500.
2,500, thank you.
Okay. Best of luck to you, sir. You're free to.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your
Thank
Honor,
you.
I would like to ask one-time return for Arturo Rivera Ocasio. We already, address this case?
Just a moment, let me find this paperwork. So I'm recalling 2022 MM 2675, Arturo Rivera Ocasio. State any objection to a one-time return?
No, with, law enforcement, Your Honor.
Yes. Okay, so I will permit a one-time return under the supervision of law enforcement to recover any personal belongings.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, Brian Harrell. Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and date of birth?
Brian Harrell, 3176.
All right, sir, I'm appointing the public defender to represent you today. You're here on a charge of petty theft. I have reviewed the charging affidavit and determined that there is probable cause for the charge. Bond will be set at $100. As a condition of bond, you are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. Anything further from the state?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Best of luck to you, sir. Shaylee Munoz.
President Alberto? Munoz, okay.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you state your name and date of birth? All right, ma'am. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you today. You're here on 4 counts, 1 count grand theft auto, 1 count criminal mischief, 1 count burglary to a structure or conveyance while armed, and 1 count of possession of burglary tools. Counsel, yes, I assume you want to say something about this?
Yes, Your Honor. I do want to argue the same probable cause argument that I argued for Mr. Ortiz.
I understand your position. State, any response different, anything different about this than the other one?
No, Your Honor, but I do want to mention that the co-defendant in this case, had a statement, I'm just trying to look for it, where he advised that Ms. Munoz was the one who I'm sorry, Your Honor, 1 second.
That's okay.
There was a confession made, Your Honor. I'm trying to find where that was made, but I'm sorry, I don't have it.
Take your time. It doesn't seem to be included in this affidavit.
Yeah, it was in the other one.
Yeah.
The other one, so, now, Your Honor, I would just have the, I would just make the same arguments I made before. There was a bag, found where the defendant, was found, and there was consent to search where the same bag that was observed during the video, was recovered, and that's where those tools were found.
All right, understood. I'm gonna find probable cause on grand theft auto and set bond at $2,500. Find probable cause on criminal mischief, set bond at $250. No probable cause on the armed burglary and ROR'd on that count, and find probable cause on the possession of burglary tools and set bond at $250. As a condition of bond, you are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. I didn't mention this in the other case, but the state have a position on whether or not, as a condition of bond, there should be no contact between the co-defendants?
I'm not sure what the relationship was between the
I don't know either. I know sometimes when it's co-defendants, they don't like them. You guys don't like them chatting, but
That's fine, we will add that condition, objection to not have.
let me ask defense their position on that. Defense, would you like to be heard on that?
Your Honor, yes, my client, she wants to have contact with Mr. Ortiz.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to order no contact at this time. So. Correct. So
I'm sorry, so,
I'm not ordering no contact.
okay.
I didn't order in the last one, so that's where we are. All right. Anything further from the state?
No, possession of weapons or arm, correct?
Correct. No possessions of weapons or firearms.
Thank you.
Anything further from defense?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck, ma'am.
Thank you.
I forgot. I did not. I did not. No, we could recall or.
Unless you, if you do want that condition, I can.
Yeah. I neglected to include no weapons or firearms with the co-defendant, Mr.
Otis Decatur.
Decatur. Defense, would you like to be heard on that with respect to no weapons or firearms for Mr. Decatur?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'm going to include that as a condition of his bond as well. Is he still present for me to say that or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
Here, and approaching.
all right. Mr. Decatur, I just wanted to call you back so that I can let you know that also as a condition of your bond, you are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Okay, that includes knives. Okay, best of luck, sir. All right, D'Angelo Nelms.
Present and approaching, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and date of birth?
D'Angelo Nelms, May 8th, 1996.
All right, sir. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you today. You're here on one count aggravated assault with deadly weapon without intent to kill and battery, touching, or striking. I have reviewed the charging affidavit and determined that there is probable cause for those charges. Bond's going to be set on the aggravated assault count at $3,500, $3,500. On the battery count at $2,500. As a condition of, that's with PTR, with pretrial release. And as a condition of bond, you are not to have any contact with the alleged victim. You are to maintain separate residence from the alleged victim. It doesn't sound like you reside together in any event, but you are to maintain separate residences. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Anything further from the state?
Your Honor, they would ask to have the defendant surrender any weapons or firearms to the Osceola Sheriff, Osceola County Sheriff's Office within 24 hours of release.
Defense, would you like to be heard on that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
It's just that my client works in the same place of the alleged victim.
Same
They
place?
work together, yes.
Okay. What's the nature of the employment?
The Postal Service, United States Postal Service.
Well, state, if you want to be heard on that, I mean, I don't have the victim here, and I'm not inclined to order contact. You're free to file a motion with the division judge if there's some sort of way that the Postal Service can accommodate that to the extent that you'll be returning to work State, would you like to be heard on that?
Yes, Your Honor, state will still ask for no contact with the victim.
Yeah, at this time, I'm going to order no contact with the alleged victim, and I will also require that firearms be surrendered to the Osceola Sheriff within 24 hours of release. Anything further from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, best of luck, sir. Alan Paul.
Present and approaching, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and date of birth?
Alan Pauls, September 28, 1999.
Okay, Mr. Paul, I am appointing the public defender to represent you today. You're here on a charge of giving false information or report to a law enforcement officer. I've reviewed the charging affidavit and determined that there is probable cause for that charge. Bond's going to be set at $100. Anything further from the state?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Defense?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Okay, best of luck, Mr. Paul. Taylor Schwankweiler?
Your Honor, the defense waived her appearance for behavior, Your Honor.
Okay, and you're waiving?
Her appearance.
Okay, all right. So I am appointing a public defender to represent Ms. Is it Schenkweiler? Yeah, that's all right. We're here on two cases. On the first case, the charge is battery of a law enforcement officer and resisting arrest with violence. I reviewed the charging affidavit and determined that there is probable cause for those charges. Bond will be set at $2,000 on the battery count and $500 on the resisting count. As a condition of bond, the defendant is not to have any contact with the alleged victim and is to not return to the scene of the alleged crime. On the second case, case 22 CF 3559, the defendant's charged with aggravated assault with deadly weapon without intent to kill, retail theft, and resisting without violence. I reviewed the charging affidavit and determined that there is probable cause for those charges. On the aggravated assault charge, bond will be set at $1,500. On the retail theft, at $250, and on the resisting at $250. As a condition of bond, the defendant's not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. It's not to possess any weapons or firearms. Anything further from the state?
No contact with the victim.
And no contact with the alleged victim as well. Defense?
Nothing further.
Okay, thank you. Sure. On the first case, it was $2,000 for battery and $500 for resisting. All right, David Smith.
Present and approaching, Your Honor.
Got two cases also. Right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and date of birth?
Yes, sir. David Oliver Smith, May 5th, 1964.
All right, Mr. Smith, I am appointing the public defender to represent you today. You're here on two cases. On case 2022 MM2748, the charge is petty theft. I have reviewed the charging affidavit and determined that there is probable cause for the charge. Bond on the petty theft charge will be set at $100. As a condition of bond, you are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. On case 2022 MM274, actually, it's the same case. 2749, The charges are petty theft and resisting arrest without violence. Bond will be set at $100 on the petty theft count, and on the resisting count, $250. As a condition of bond, you are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. Anything further from the state?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Defense?
Nothing further.
Okay, best.
Your Honor, if the defendant can have ROR in these charges?
Okay. Any particular reason why that would be appropriate, or?
Your Honor, the defendant has a work to finish and to be at his workplace. If not, he will lose his employment.
State, would you like to be heard on that?
State objects, Your Honor, based on the facts of the case, and based on the amount of the bond being reasonable, state would object at this time.
I'm going to keep the bonds as initially stated. They are on the lower end, lower than what was originally included. So I'm going to keep the bonds as is and the same conditions. Okay, best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Did we miss any, counsel?
Yes, one private.
Ah, yes. We still do not have Mr. Smith present. And our deputy has checked. Yeah. Yeah. Do you have the lawyer's, first off, sir, can you state your name and date of birth?
Yes, Albert Lopez, 63066.
Okay, Mr. Lopez, do you have the lawyer's number? I'm happy to get somebody on the phone, but there's nobody present here and there's nobody in the halls.
I don't, sir, I don't. I know it's Daryl Smith, and we have been with him before. He's been in this case for over a month, so.
Okay.
I just got here yesterday, so that's why I don't have anything.
What is the name of the lawyer? I'm happy to look him up.
Daryl Smith.
Daryl R. Smith with Smith and Eula Law Firm?
I think so.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna make a phone call and see if we can get him on the call. If not, we'll see what we can do.
It was because of the door.
Is there a way to get it over the speaker, or do I have to do it like this? Okay, that's fine. No, that's fine. Do I have to dial 9? Do I have to, yeah. Hi, this is Judge Eric Netcher in Osceola County. I'm trying to reach Attorney Daryl Smith. I have a defendant here for initial appearances who says that Mr. Smith is his lawyer.
Your Honor, I think he's potentially on his way to. Hang on just a minute, Your Honor, one moment.
Sure.
I do apologize. He's actually in PNC in Lake County and Volusia County. He's on his way there. Can I get the number and have him give you a quick call back?
Sure. Do you know the number, direct number to the courtroom? I'm sorry, I don't know. We don't do this too frequently. Just a moment. And I didn't catch you. You said he's where? He's in Volusia County or?
He's on his way, he is PNC in Lake and Volusia, so
CMC, you said?
PNC and PTCs, and, one is PTC in Volusia and a PNC in Lake County.
Okay, do you know if he was aware of this proceeding or that?
I'm not sure, Your Honor, I can't speak for him, I'm not his paralegal, however, who's the client?
It's Albert Lopez.
Lopez? Let me look, Your Honor, just a moment.
And I have a number for you.
Yes, sir, may I have that number, please?
Sure, 407-742-2568.
And Your Honor, what did you say your last name was? I do beg your pardon.
That's all right. Netcher, it's like Fletcher, but with an N. Netcher.
All right, Your Honor, I'll get a hold of
And just before you leave us, are you calling him so that he can call us immediately? Because
Yes,
we're not.
sir.
Okay, that's appreciated.
Yes, sir, you're welcome, Your Honor.
Have a good one.
You too.
All right. So, did you catch that over there?
A little bit. What was it?
Yes, Your Honor, yes.
Okay. So we. So we're gonna take about 5 minutes or so. If you want to go ahead and sit down, you can, and we'll see if we get a call back from Mr. Smith.
Thank you,
If-
Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.